Hey guys, what's up? Hope everybody's having a good day out there today, and welcome back here to another edition of the Fishing Teacher. Actually, headed down to Table Rock Lake. I got an on-the-water lesson today, and it looks like we've got a cloudy, rainy day. Fish ought to be biting a little bit. And hey, if you got anybody interested in booking an on-the-water lesson with me, just shoot me a private message at my Facebook page, Randy Blockett, Professional Angler, and I can give you the update on that. Anyway, guys, what I want to talk about today is why fish don't bite very good after a cold front. Now, this is a well-known topic. It's a well-known phenomena. If you fish for very long, you know that, general consensus is the fish do not bite very well after a cold front rolls through. And there's a lot of truth to that. So I want to talk a little bit about why that is and maybe give you guys some tips and advice on it. First of all, I don't think anyone really has a definitive answer, because here's the reason why that is. Because every time that a cold front passes through, you sort of have a different set of conditions. Sometimes after a cold front comes through, the clouds and the precipitation will hold on a little bit. Sometimes after a cold front comes through, you got a bluebird sky and bright sunlight conditions. So it varies depending upon the front, but most of the time, after a cold front runs through, you have a major wind shift, usually from like the south or southwest to the north, northeast, something like that. Excuse me. And a lot of times it does bluebird off. You lose your cloud cover, and then you have varying degrees of wind that come or go away after that front comes through. So here is, in my opinion, from what I've seen, why most of the time, not just bass, but fish in general, are tougher to catch after a cold front. It's a combination of the light intensity and the north wind. There's something about when you have a temperature drop and a north wind, and after a cold front runs through, you have the brightest, most intense light intensity that you've had in a long time, because the atmosphere is pretty clear. A lot of times you don't have any clouds in the sky, and I just think that under those conditions, bass don't feel as secure, and they don't feel as secure to roam in, because prior to a front coming in there, a lot of times you'll have south wind, cloudy conditions, a little bit warmer conditions. Those make for prime times where bass roam and feed and chase around a lot. But for some reason, after they come through, after a front rolls through, they don't do those things. It's almost like they don't get near as aggressive, they don't roam as much, and they become a little bit less active. Now, that's overall what you're going to think. So in my opinion, the reason the fish don't bite as well, they can't hide as well. The bright light intensity, for the most part, makes it difficult for them to be able to hide and ambush prey. That's my main theory, because usually if you've got one of those cold fronts where you've kept your clouds after the front rolls through, it doesn't really affect the fish that much. So there's a couple different things you can do with it. Now, a lot of it has to do with the wind speed that you have, because sometimes after a front rolls through, you lose your wind completely and it's calm, and sometimes it's super windy, like a hard cold north wind up to 20-30 miles an hour. Now, if you've got windy conditions after a front rolls through, you need to really fish a reaction bait, a bait that moves fast through the water, that causes a fish to have to react to it, or they're not going to hit it. This would be baits, anything that you cast and reel through the water, like a crankbait. Sometimes if you fish a moving lure really fast after a cold front, if the wind is up, you can generate those strikes with it. Now, if you don't have your wind and a front rolls through, those reaction baits aren't going to work very good, and that's when you have to slow down and sort of finesse them out, where you go to like a Ned rig or a shaky head or a drop shot or something like that to catch them. So the point of the matter is, guys, is that cold fronts definitely have an effect on the fish. It definitely makes the fishing a little bit tougher. However, fish can always be caught after a front if you just adjust your techniques. But for the most part, just sort of like get into the frame of mind that it's going to be tough for a few days after it rolls through, and that's just sort of one of the realities of fishing. So hope that makes a little bit of sense, guys, and we'll check later. See you.